Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kirbside Podcast. I am your host, Jay Kirby. As always, joined by my lovely co-host, the Scream Queen B, the Master of the Macabre, Britt.
I'm back.
And today we are joined by our good friend, GTS wrestler and video game enthusiast, Kama Kozzy.
Yay! Hey, Kama.
Who's Kama Kozzy? Who's he? I don't know. Who's that guy?
He's the ugly one.
Oh, hi. How you doing?
The one with the
He ain't
beard.
wrong. Well, he's over here on my screen, so he ain't wrong. Okay.
Fair enough.
What is up? How you all doing? Thank you for having me on here. I appreciate it.
Oh, Kama, thank you for joining us. And, many apologies over the last couple of weeks, with technical difficulties, personal.
Don't have to apologize for anything. Everybody's got their own lives. Everybody's got issues that they have to go through. So it's no worries. I totally understand.
Cool.
Life has been rough for the Kirbside crew the past 2 weeks. Let's just put it at that.
Speaking of rough, how's the knee doing?
The knee is doing pretty good. I
good.
haven't been officially cleared, but it's looking good.
Good. That's all I care.
So,
That's all I care.
Yay.
Now we just need the world to stop turning, and I can finally go to wrestling shows. Oh, excuse me.
Good one.
Well, UWC still running shows, so got one running next on Saturday, which I'm in that.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm also in the September 19th show.
Ooh, now with the September 19th show, is that the Wrightstown Rumble, or is that the one that's coming up this week?
Coming up this week's the Wrightstown Rumble.
Oh, nice. Very, very nice.
Well,
Are you coming out, Brittni, or no?
Unfortunately, I'm slated to start a new job this week, so traveling's going to be a little bit limited for the time being.
And with my Clark Kent job outside of podcasting, I am actually not allowed to attend shows because my job is very worried about people's health and the current infection going around, or as I like to call the zombie apocalypse.
Completely. Understand.
So I just have to sit back, watch Twitter blow up while you guys throw jabs at each other, and then watch it later on YouTube. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
I mean, speaking of YouTube, I did get to watch a match against Kyle Payne. I'm sorry that you got kneed in the face.
Ouch.
Yeah. It's because I was hitting on, forgot her name. That's all I was...
Sarah?
I was hitting, what's her name, and then, he didn't like that.
Yeah, he's a big, angry guy. So why would you make him angry?
When don't I make people angry, Kirby?
Fair point.
My job. It's my job.
Very fair point.
And you do very well at it.
But I'm funny. I'm entertaining. I like to be that way.
You're adorable. You're just like a puppy.
Thank you. That's what I tell everybody. I'm adorable.
Well, coming from me, adorable can mean many different things, my dear. So
I didn't say I was good. I didn't say I was good looking. I just said I'm adorable.
So this is my stunned into silence face anyway.
All right, so Kama, a lot of people, most of our fans know that you and I know each other through GTS, and Britt is a fan of the show as well. How did you get started in pro wrestling? Like, first off, what just clicked in your head one day and you're like, I'm going to be a pro wrestler?
All right, so I've always been a fan of wrestling ever since I was a kid. I think it was Royal Rumble '89 was the first show I've ever seen, first wrestling show. Oh, and since I don't know if your fans know, but this right here is Kratos, my puppy.
Aw, puppy.
Aww.
He wants to
We love it.
tonight.
Hey, doggo.
So Royal Rumble '89 was the first wrestling show I've ever seen. And all right, you can stop getting in the way of the camera. Okay. Can you do that for me? Yes, I understand that. But, so Royal Rumble '89 was the first show I've ever seen. Like, it was taped. So therefore, I didn't see it in person because it took place in Houston.
Right.
ever since then, I was hooked into wrestling. I loved it. And then not a lot of people were wrestling fans where I lived. So therefore, you know, it's just like me and my brother. We always just loved watching wrestling. Then time went on. I kind of fell out of it. And then I got back into it back in 94. And then I fell out of it again. Then got back into it in 98. And then fell out of it again. And then 2001 is when I really started, really kept up with wrestling. So then what was it? I think it was July of 2002. I went to SmackDown. This is when The Rock came back and Busta Rhymes was promoting the Halloween Resurrection movie.
Oh my God.
So
love that movie.
So
anyway.
that was the big thing was the Busta Rhymes was promoting Halloween Resurrection. So then I was like, you know what? I want to try doing professional wrestling. And then I did yarding for a long time. And then what was it? It was August 31st, 2002. I went to a Phoenix Championship Wrestling show, and then I found out that Jerry Lynn was running a seminar the next day. So I asked my mom, and I said, "Mom, can I go? Can I go to this seminar? I want to learn." And my birthday was in 2 weeks, so she was totally cool with it. So she sent me there. Spent the whole day wrestling, learning, and that sort of thing, taking bumps, running the ropes, learning some moves. And ever since then, I was like, I want to do this. This was something that it just felt like a larger than life sort of thing. So therefore, I was like, I want to wrestle. I want to do this. And then I joined the ring crew for Phoenix Championship Wrestling for about a year, and was training with a lot of the indie guys there, like there's a Chi Cruz, Power Child at Justice, Tiger Khan, Slayer, actually. Kirby, you know who Slayer is.
Yes.
He helped train me, and went on from that. Then PCW went under, and then I went to wrestling school up in PCW, where PCW is in Lake Hiawatha, for a few months back in 2005. Then I went into the military, and then I didn't get back into wrestling until 2008, where I had my first indie match in New Millennium Wrestling Alliance. Let's see. Then I was also wrestling with National Wrestling Superstars up here in New Jersey, but I was also wrestling in Virginia. Then NMWA went under, and then I was wrestling with NWS for a little while. They went under. I also got really sick, with stomach issues, and then my ex-fiance at the time didn't like me wrestling, so I didn't. But then back in 2015, Ace Marksman helped me with getting back into the indies, and then ever since, was it 2016, like mid-2016, I've been wrestling ever since.
Wow.
Wow.
Quite the timeline there.
Yeah, I know, long hiatuses, unfortunately. I'm not at the level I want to be at, but I'm pretty good.
So I wanted to ask, is Kama, has that always been is that how you've always been known when you were with all these different companies, or has there been other names that have kind of come in?
Just Kama. I actually didn't get my name until 2008.
Really?
Yeah, 2008. When I went to school and when I was doing ring crew for PCW, I had no name. So
wow.
5 years of learning the business, I had no 5-6 years learning the business, I had no name.
Gracious.
Yeah, I know, right? Long time for not having a name.
Yeah, wow.
And I'll tell the story on how I got my name. So I was wrestling with the guys because we had a very small roster with NMWA. And there was this guy there, his name was Hardcore Havoc. And he's like, dude, what is your wrestling name? I said, I don't have one. I was thinking Slade Walker. I think, the Slade Walker as a name. And he was like, no, dude, that's not you. And then like him and Ace Winger were like talking and everything. And then Havoc was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna call you Kama Kozzy. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take that name and run. And I took the name and ran with it.
There you go.
There you go.
It's actually pretty awesome.
Yeah. So out of the clear blue, that's how Kama Kozzy was born.
We dig it, and that's how I know you today. Excuse me, sorry. So I know very briefly in the beginning, you and Kirby had mentioned both GTS. How in the hell did you get involved with that? I gotta ask.
All right. So, well, I was in GTS before Kirby was. So,
right.
What the story is with that is I was coming home. I think I was coming home from work one day, and I was working on a Sunday. But I came home, and I was already like in basketball shorts, sneakers, etc. And Kirby can tell you right off the bat because obviously he wrestles. When you hear a wrestling ring,
you're going.
You know that sound.
Somebody bum. You know that sound. So, so I hear the sound. I didn't really think anything of it, and then, but I knew somebody had a ring somewhere, but I didn't want to intrude on someone's privacy. So then, I think it was like 2 weeks later. It was again a Sunday. I hear the same thing. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go find it. So I get out of my car and I walk down the street, and I hear the bumping and everything, and then I see Bonifer, like in the back, Super Grandma's backyard. I was like, what's up, dude? He goes, hey, what's up? I was like, is there a wrestling ring back there? He goes, yeah. I was like, can I check it out? And then he walks away, and then I guess he had to go talk to Grim, and then he's like, yeah, sure, you can come back here. So I was like, hey, I'm Kama Kozzy. Or I said my name's Will because obviously they don't know who I am.
Right.
So I was like, well, I'm Will, and then it was Manabo. He's like, hey, I'm Manabo. Grim was like,
oh my God.
I'm and then there was Bonifer, there was Wampus, there was Scalper, or Draken. Who else was there? There was, I think, Matt Castle. Yeah.
Wow.
That's some real old school GTS.
Yeah, we're talking that. I think Jimmy and Pete were there. I don't remember. I know Doo-Hop wasn't there. And I think also Tommy Salami was there. Like I said, I don't remember. So then I was just like, I live right down the street, and I heard the ring. And I was like, you mind if I just run the ropes and maybe take a couple bumps? Grim was just like, yeah, sure, go ahead. So I run the ropes, take a few bumps. Grim is watching me, and then he looks at the other guys. He's like, we found a new wrestler.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So then what happened was I was just like, well, I was gonna say, no disrespect, I don't know who you are. So I told, he's like, oh, just watch this. We got an episode. They're gonna be filming an episode. I was like, all right, cool. So I'm standing behind Grim. I'm watching the whole thing, and I was like, oh, this looks really cool. So then he was like, yeah, this is like basically what we do. And I said, you know what? He's like, oh, I got a YouTube channel and that sort of stuff. And I was like, okay, let me check out your stuff. I don't want to give you an answer yet because I don't know who you are. I want to see your stuff and see what it's like.
Right.
So then I come to find out he's got, 300,000 subscribers
at the time, right?
The time, yeah. This is 2000. This is 2016. This is 4 years.
So that's
I was like,
that's roughly maybe a couple months before I joined.
Yeah, it was. You joined what? Regal Rumble or?
I joined at the first Grimomania.
Okay.
You can see me as a ref against Bull James and Pete Corvus. That's my unofficial debut on GTS.
Note to self: go to YouTube afterwards.
So then he was just like, yeah. I was just like, yeah. I'll let me watch your stuff and see what's up. So then I watch a couple episodes. I watched the one where he jumped in a Kurt Hawkins match against Hornswoggle. And then I watched him fight Lance Scaper. And I was like, all right, cool. This sounds like could be fun. And then I knew he was filming on Monday. So after work, I got there. I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll join.
There you go.
So then ever since I've been on GTS, and the first match that I ever had on GTS was when the hardcore title was introduced.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've been in just as long as the hardcore title.
I was about to say a lot of history with that hardcore belt.
Yeah. like me jumping out of a tree to win it.
So,
Wait, did I hear that correctly? Jumping out of a tree.
Yeah.
This is the look of surprise on my face. She's silently judging you. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I know he wouldn't, but I thought you would know.
I have no judgment.
I do. I jump off a lot.
I know you jump. I didn't remember jumping off a tree. I remember jumping off. You jumped off a ladder too, right?
I've jumped off a lot of stuff.
Okay. I for some reason I can't remember a tree. Hey, I'm still recovering post-op here. Give me a break.
All right, no judging. No judging.
Ironically, my first memory of Kama Kozzy is Cletus powerbombing him through a table that was on fire.
That was the worst injury I've ever had in wrestling.
Oh, I bet. It was Cletus versus Kama at Grimomania, and a hardcore match for the GTS title.
Yep.
Boys and girls, if you have not yet watched GTS, please go back, watch it, see what this crazy guy does. But you know what?
And that was my idea. That's the thing. It was my idea.
Of course it was.
It's Grimomania. What do you expect?
Not touching it. Not gonna say a word. Ow, 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 ow. Leaning. Ow.
I have a death wish. Come on.
You must. Well, your shirt also says Death Machine, so.
That's Jessica Havoc, not me.
I figured. And it also has the umbrella from the Umbrella Corporation.
Because that's also.
And say, segue alert.
Segue alert. There we go.
Kama's only the biggest Resident Evil fan that I know.
Thank you.
Now, granted, Hooligan is very close to you. Very close.
He's nowhere near me.
Me and him have had some spirited discussions about the Resident Evil franchise, but I definitely would have to say you're my number one go-to guy when it comes to Resident Evil.
Yeah. Come on, man. I rock a Resident Evil wallet. You know?
What?
I'm that much of a Resident Evil nerd.
Okay,
hey, we don't say nerd around here. We just say fanatic.
Oh, I definitely use that.
I'm happy to be a nerd.
Definitely a nerd. Okay, so with that being said, what do you think of some of these Resi remakes that have been coming out these past few years?
I loved Resident Evil 2. That is hands down, like, that blew expectations out the water.
Nice.
I love 2. I will go back to 2 any day.
You say, didn't they just release 3? 3?
Yeah.
How was 3? I didn't get a chance to play 3.
3 was good. I just didn't get the ending. Still don't get the ending. I played through it a few times and I don't get the ending. It's like it just doesn't make sense.
Okay. So with that being said, do you think they'll remake 4?
They plan on it.
I haven't heard anything. That's why I asked. That's why I asked the Resident Evil guy.
I heard they're remaking 4.
I'd be okay with an HD remake of 4.
No.
As long as they stop at 4.
No, if they're gonna remake another game, they need to remake Code Veronica.
Okay. So why is Code Veronica your favorite? I'll ask that.
Code Veronica's nowhere near my favorite.
Oh?
Code Veronica is to me one of the worst. I don't like Code Veronica.
Oh, I'm glad we're on the same page.
Thank you.
Because honestly, and again, I've had this discussion with Hooligan before. I have nothing against like the gameplay, but Code Veronica introduced one of my least favorite characters out of.
Steve Burnside.
I was gonna say Alice. Yeah, Alice from the movies. Does she not get introduced in Code Veronica?
No. Alice is not introduced in the games.
I'm pretty sure only in Code Veronica. She has not appeared in that. That's why I hate her so much.
You mean Alexia?
I don't. See, ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you
Hold
take
on.
medicine that gives you headaches. He's pulling up the factoids here.
So there you go. I have the book, the novelization. I actually have. I have.
Wait, they have novelizations of this?
I'm
Yes,
not
they do.
surprised. Wait, you
Wow.
can read?
Dude.
Hey,
Damn.
Otace. Yeah. Otace. Lee. There you go.
Puppy.
Yeah. Nice. Let's see. Calvin. 19. Da, 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 da. 5. Let's try this. I'm trying to curse right now. I'm not getting into this.
Our editing team appreciates it. If I'm proven wrong, I will say that I'm
AKA
wrong
you.
on the podcast.
I'm betting you anything. Let's see. In Code Veronica, the main characters are The main characters are Claire, Steve Burnside, Chris Redfield, Wesker, Rodrigo, Alfred, Alexia, and why am I putting another character in? Because I think those are it. But I think but Alice is not introduced in the games.
I'm sure she did. But I can't stand Alice. I really can't.
Oh no, I don't like her either. I mean, because in my opinion, what they did in the movies, like the first one was.
It was close. It was close to game one.
I could accept it if it was a side story that was happening in between 1 and 2.
Right.
But then Apocalypse came out. I'm not gonna lie, that's my favorite one because Mike Epps stole that movie. Mike Epps was the best character in the movie. I don't even care that Carlos is in it or Jill Valentine, or Nikolai. I don't care. LJ was the character.
This is all you guys. I know little.
You're the Scream Queen Bee, and you don't know Resident Evil movies?
I know movies.
I
only know the first. I know.
She only knows the good one. Let's be honest here.
Well, no. During about I don't know. I think I got sick one night and I decided, hey, let me watch these. I couldn't remember. I could not tell you a damn thing that happened.
Okay, it's one of them forgetful movies. Oh no, I understand.
Yeah, after I got through the original, I got through Apocalypse. Other than that, I didn't care enough.
Because it went from Resident Evil to X-Men.
And to be really honest,
yes.
I'm not an X-Men person, so.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying one person has all these powers.
Right. Which.
So, yeah, it went to X-Men.
That's a little. I mean.
One person has what a close personal friend of ours, Tim Russell, would call plot armor.
There we go.
Okay.
So since we're on the topic of Resident Evil, what is your favorite game, Kama?
2 remake.
The 2 remake?
2 remake.
What's a boast?
Because
Nice.
they built the game they built Resident Evil 2 from the ground up. They took aspects from the 1998 game or from the original, and then they built on that, and they just made it so awesome. One of my YouTube friends, his name's Shotana Studios, also a real big video game enthusiast, and he's also a huge movie enthusiast, did a comparison on which he thinks is better between the original or the remake, between 2 and 3 actually.
Nice.
So he and I have gotten into like discussions, not arguments, because we're both huge fans.
Right.
And he says that like from what Resident Evil 8 did is that they revolutionized the series and the horror genre within the gaming world. But 2 took that and was basically able to catch lightning in the same bottle and just make it even better. So, I mean, I could play Resident Evil 2. I could play Resident Evil 2 remake anytime. So.
And it just has like that, or I guess, repeated gameplay.
Yes.
It's got that replay factor.
Replayability. That's the word.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, like I said, I know the story. I know the story inside and out. From like, actually, one of my friends who I saw at the wedding yesterday, the groom's best friend. Him and I are basically like the epitome of Resident Evil. Like, we love everything about it. Obviously, we have our share of like which games we like and which ones we don't. But he brought up to me a couple of years ago. He's like, dude, I know you're a huge fan of Resident Evil, like, as am I. I was like, yeah, dude. He's like, we could run through Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 in like not even a day. Like, let's say like 9 hours total. That's 3 hours per game.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know the mansion in Resident Evil 1. We know the police station in 2. We know the city in 3. We just know it all. And
right.
And that's how much we love the series. But I told him, I was like, Code Veronica? No.
Automatic skip, right?
No bueno.
No bueno. But what I got to give Code Veronica is that it has probably one of the best songs ever in the soundtrack, which is the Suspended Doll. And also, it has that Resident Evil hook. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you progress in the game, it actually feels good that you're progressing. But then, like, there are times where it's just very arduous, and then you're trying to go somewhere, and then you got to go find the stupidest thing to get that, and then you get that, and you got to go do this, and then it's basically like, ugh.
Right.
A lot of backtracking.
Yeah, a lot of backtracking, which I don't mind it, obviously, because that's basically what Resident Evil is. But when it's just like the stupidest thing, it's like, oh, I need the indigo plate, so this way I can open this up and grab an indigo card to go unlock this door. And then I got to go all the way back to the beginning of the game. It's like, damn it.
Right.
Okay. So this will probably be my last Resident Evil topic. And then I'll ask you a couple more video game questions. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, of course, man. That's what I figured you were going to be asking.
Okay, so a lot of Resident Evil controversy came from 5 and 6 basically just being action games, going away from the survival horror of 1, 2, and 3, and somewhat 4. 4 kind of like started the action phase of the games. But 4 was so good that everyone, lets it get away with it. So how do you feel about 7? What was it, Biohazard?
Biohazard.
Taking away all the action, all the the action movie stunts like Chris punching the boulder, and putting it in a first person, like minimal items, kind of survival setting. Back to what original Resident Evil was like.
Okay, so basically, what is my feelings on 5 and 6, and how do I feel about 7 going back to survival horror?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. First off, Resident Evil 5, I liked it, to tell you the truth.
It's not a terrible game. It's just it was the slippery slope that led to 6.
Yeah.
And the worst companion AI since GoldenEye.
Touche. Give me 1 second. I gotta go. Give me 1 second.
TV timeout.
Oh, it's right there. Okay. So, first off, Resident Evil 5, I liked it. I have played through it many times. So, but I'd have to say this for Resident Evil 5. Yes, Sheva is one of the dumbest AI characters I've ever dealt with. One of them, not the, but one of them. So I get where you're coming from. However, you play it on co-op.
Oh, co-op.
And you play on co-op, and it's honestly one of the coolest experiences you can ever have, because you can do like so much, like such awesome stuff. So I have to say it's honestly one of the better Resident Evils, even though it leans more into the action genre, but co-op only. So I'd probably rank it probably like an A. Like S being the best, I'd probably give it an A with how it is a Resident Evil. 6 is basically like, it takes itself way too seriously when it shouldn't. But there are a lot of mechanics that really were like cool within the game. It just didn't really come together. So like a lot of the action moves you can do when you're like Leon and you're like punching the zombies, you know, you're doing like combos and like just basically making the zombies' heads explode. It feels good, but it doesn't come together. So it's not terrible, but it's not great. And then Resident Evil 7 was a breath of fresh air back to survival horror. So I liked 7 a lot. I'm actually saving up money right now to get the VR set so I can play the VR.
Oh, nice.
That's a bold strategy.
No, I know it's bold, but yet again, I still got to experience it in VR rather than just, you know, having it in front of my TV. I'd like to actually be immersed in the Resident Evil universe.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
That's my opinion on 5, 6, and Biohazard, or 7.
Well,
all right. Random question, because we've gotten into this with some of our past Kirbside guests. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Oh,
yes.
Yes. Another one joins my crusade. Wrong word. Sorry.
Yes, it is. I don't care what even Bruce Willis doesn't say it's a Christmas movie. Oh, he's wrong. It is a Christmas movie.
She didn't expect that to backfire.
Oh yeah, totally. It's totally a Christmas movie. So no. Wait. No. Let me ask you a question, Brittany.
Me?
Is Silent Night, Deadly Night a Christmas movie, or is it a horror movie?
Oh my God, it's both.
One or the other.
Honestly, you know my twisted sense of imagination. It's going Christmas.
Okay, so you admit that's a Christmas movie. It does. Yeah, actually, it does take place on Christmas.
It takes place on one Christmas when the, oh my God, I forget his freaking name. Anyway,
We'll just call him the killer.
Yeah, we'll call him the killer.
Yeah, we'll call him the killer. Yeah, fine, whatever. When he's a child.
Billy, that was his name.
Oh my God. No, every time I hear the name Billy, I think of Black Christmas, like the original, like 1974. Billy,
yeah, I know.
Billy.
But I've seen Black Christmas. I'm also a huge horror movie fan. Remember that?
I know. I remember. But love that movie. So it takes place like over the span of several Christmases. Now, sequels.
We're stupid.
Horror movie sequels have their own reputations as is.
That is true.
One that I don't care what anybody says. I kind of like better than the original was Halloween 2. The original Halloween 2, not H2.
The 1981.
Yes.
Halloween 2 is pretty good. I'll give you that.
The
I have to
second one
say,
was good.
I wouldn't say it's better than the original, but I say it's equal to, in my opinion, one of my favorite horror movie sequels is Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
I can see it. I can honestly do. I mean, as far as like, if we're gonna go into Nightmare on Elm Street, though, it almost doesn't feel like a sequel. It almost feels like it's just like its own like kind of standalone-ish. If that makes any kind of sense. I mean,
Nightmare Part 2, Freddy's Revenge?
Oh no, we're talking New Nightmare. We're talking like
Yeah,
I think it's more standalone. I honestly
yeah,
think
it's like
Yeah.
it's like a strange, weird meta
it's like
spinoff.
it's in the universe. Yeah, it's in
You
the
know.
it's in the Freddy universe.
It is
but-
the Hobbs and Shaw of the Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
yeah, okay,
good one.
I'll give you that. I can give you that one. Yeah, definitely.
But
Yeah, like I
but-
said, I'm also a huge horror fan. So I'm actually looking at my DVD collection. I'm thinking like, what's the weirder titles I have?
ooh, what we got?
Let's see. I have all the Halloween movies.
Nice.
Right, I have to have them. I have all the Friday the 13th movies.
Wait. I'm gonna pause you right there. Do you have Halloween 3?
Yes.
New Friend. I Crusade for Halloween 3.
I liked Halloween 3 because to me it's one of the better Halloweens because it's different.
Yeah, and it
Rather than rehashing Michael Myers, you have something different. Yes, I understand there's a lot of backlash to it because Michael Myers is not, which
that was not what John Carpenter
Yeah,
intended. Like it wasn't intended to be about one guy like throughout the whole
it was
thing.
intended to be an anthology story.
Exactly.
I know the story.
Some
Let's
of our
see,
fans
Oh,
don't.
we're getting sass here.
Let's see what else do I have. Silent Hill. I'm a huge Silent Hill fan.
Still
Slim-
mad that they
It's
canceled
like,
Silent Hills.
I don't even know how to describe that one. That was not really a horror movie.
What movie?
Swim fan.
Never heard of it.
It's like it's more like a thriller. It's like stalker thriller kind of thing.
Mm.
Definitely.
Crazy
do that.
chick. Crazy
Yeah,
chick.
crazy psychotic chick who needs to be punched in the face. My opinion. Slumber Party
She's
Massacre.
sexy, though.
All three of them.
Freaking awesome. The drill bit killer.
I don't care what anybody says. The weapon in the second movie is the best horror movie weapon of all
the
time.
guitar.
I don't care what anybody says. You cannot change my mind. That is the greatest horror movie weapon ever.
Oh no, I can raise you one better.
Ooh.
Okay, you've seen Sleepaway Camp.
Yes, are we talking
Obviously.
about the hold on. What? Kids.
I don't have any.
No, but my roommate has a daughter and her daughter has a friend over and they're like spying on me. So, no, are you talking about the curling iron?
Yes.
Well, I mean that was off screen, but obviously we know what's going on.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, with someone with a messed up mindset like I do, I know what's going on.
Well, we all do, but let's see. What other messed up weapons have we seen? But I do agree, that guitar was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Let's see. No, actually, I can do one better when it comes to the curling iron. In Unfriended.
Oh,
Down the throat, and you saw it.
That's brutal. That was brutal.
Ooh.
Yeah, down the throat, and you saw that. I mean, obviously, like I said, Sleepaway Camp, and just like how old school horror movies were, you had to use your imagination.
Right, which
Because they didn't have the budget for it.
Exactly. Like, look at Psycho. Like the most iconic, one of the most iconic scenes in horror history. Janet Leigh getting stabbed in the shower, and that was chocolate syrup that they.
Yep. Because it was all black and white, baby.
Yeah, because exactly, it's all black and white. Obviously,
Love it.
It wouldn't look right.
Right.
And back then, you couldn't show a knife sticking into somebody's chest because either they didn't have the technology to create a prosthetic like that, or also fans would have lost their minds. That movie would have been banned in every country if you had actually seen the knife in her.
Yep, especially in 1960.
Well, to be completely honest, a lot of these movies that we're talking about right now were banned at some point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, think about it. Like we
A
were talking
lot
about
of horror movies. You think about
Silent
it.
Night, Deadly Night's been banned. What?
Pip.
Deadly Night's was banned in I think in Europe.
It was banned in America, I think, for a while.
Yeah, and then they released it. So, yeah, then they released it, and it was I personally, it's like one of those campy, like campy, good.
B movies.
Yeah, campy.
So bad it's good kind of movies.
Yes, yeah. But speaking of campy good movies,
Evil Dead.
Can't be good.
if you ever get a chance, Curb, I don't know if you ever heard of it. Sweet Home.
Sweet Home. I don't think I have ever heard of that.
Oh,
It is
I
a
think you
Japanese. It is a Japanese horror movie,
Okay.
and it's what inspired Resident Evil.
Okay.
Yeah, it's complete because actually 1 second.
Oh, I've been left alone. This week is brought to you. Oh,
So-
what do we got here?
That's
Ooh,
Sweet
we
Home
have a
for the
video game.
NES.
Ooh.
Oh, we're going vintage here, ladies and gentlemen. Like
So it's basically what it was is that Capcom wanted to do a remake of Sweet Home, but then like things got changed around. So then that's how Resident Evil came about. But a lot of stuff is still the same. They go to a mansion. They're trying to figure out why is all this stuff happening? Get out of there. And then it's basically what coined the term survival horror.
I dig
I
it.
have to look into that.
Yeah, it has honestly has I think the goriest death scene I have ever seen ever in a movie.
Really?
Yeah, it I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but there's only three deaths in the movie, and the spirit dies too. But the 3 deaths are like way worth it just to watch. But like it's in Japanese, but I know on YouTube they have subtitles for
God, I love YouTube.
YouTube.
So, definitely. All right, I guess.
All right.
So, go ahead, Curb.
I was just gonna say, since you brought up the NES cartridge, we gotta talk
Oh,
old school
God.
games. All right. So first off, let's start off with the age-old question: why is Street Fighter better than Mortal Kombat?
For fuck's sake.
Because it's not.
I'm just kidding. Honestly, I don't think I can pick one over the other. At least as far as the originals. Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter 2, they're kind of on the same playing field for me. As a franchise, I think Mortal Kombat has more longevity, at least for me,
I agree with that.
I
I like Street Fighter. Don't get me wrong. Like I own the what is it? I think the 30-year anniversary of Street Fighter, and it has like Street Fighter the 1, the World Warriors, Turbo Championship Edition, the new Challengers. It's one of those games for the Switch. I can't remember what's on it, but Mortal Kombat I've always been more of a fan. I just been more of a fan of Mortal Kombat.
Okay, so with Mortal Kombat, I know the answer to this question, but a lot of our fans need to know. Who's your go-to for Mortal Kombat?
Cyrax.
Really?
He's my favorite.
That was-
I know a lot of people are thinking Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. He's one of my main dudes. I don't care how many people hate him, but like a lot of my gimmick is based off Johnny Cage because I think he's amazing. So, but he's not my main guy. Cyrax will always be my main guy because I love backstory. I love a lot about Cyrax.
I do enjoy a Cyrax backstory, the ninja turned cyborg.
Depending on what timeline you're talking.
Right.
If you're talking like the new the Mortal Kombat reboot, Mortal Kombat 9, yes, it's a ninja from Lin Kuei who got cyberized against his will.
So,
Yeah.
with Mortal Kombat, growing up, were you a Nintendo kid or were you a Sega kid? Because I know that was a huge argument back in the day is which console you had and which console you played Mortal Kombat off of.
I'd have to say, I originally played it on Sega Genesis, So, trying to master Mortal Kombat with the 3-button controller.
Right.
But I was able to do it. But the thing is with now, it has to be the Super Nintendo version of Mortal Kombat because it's just so much better. Because you got, the 4 buttons and then the shoulders for blocking and running. Well, when you go to 3. So, I'd have to go Super Nintendo overall. I mean, for Mortal Kombat 2 and on. Mortal Kombat 1 on Super Nintendo, no.
I feel you.
Yeah. But if we're talking like, if we're talking like console wars, I didn't go through it, which is awesome.
Oh, you missed the console wars.
No, I didn't miss the console wars. I had them both. So.
Oh, so you cheated, is what you're saying?
No, I didn't. No, here's the weird thing that came with the here's the thing that came with the console wars, right? Okay. So. When I was growing up, I never had a Sega CD. I never had a 32X. So, because my mom was not just going to pay for that. But I had a Sega Genesis. My neighbor had the Nintendo. So, if I wanted to go play Nintendo, I'd go to his house. If he wanted to play Sega, we'd go to my house. As time went on, he got a Sega. I got a Super Nintendo. So, therefore, if I wanted to play Sega again, go to his house. He wanted Super Nintendo, come to my house. So we never went through the console wars because he had one.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I was kind of the same way. One of my close friends had the Super Nintendo, and I had the Genesis. I was always a Sega kid because my parents only got me the Genesis. It's strange. As much of a gamer as I've always said I am, I've always been roughly a generation behind. When I had a Genesis is when everybody had a 64, and when I finally then I got a GameCube, or not a GameCube, a Dreamcast. That's when everyone already had PlayStation 2.
Yeah,
and
I'll tell you a crazy story when you're done with that.
Of course. And then after I finally got enough money to get the GameCube is when everyone was on the PlayStation 2 Xbox bandwagons. So I've up until Xbox 360, I've always been a generation behind. I finally, when I was, I don't know, I think I was a teenager, maybe 16 or 17 when 360 came out. I saved up my own money from working a job and bought an Xbox, and I was finally up to date, and I finally was caught up with everybody. However, as far as gameplay wise, I was a year or two behind because when I bought my Xbox, it was when Halo 3 was out, Modern Warfare 2 was about to drop, and Assassin's Creed 2 had came out. However, I hadn't played Modern Warfare 1 or Assassin's Creed 1. So I had to play through those as soon as I got my Xbox to get caught up.
No, with me, it was just like my brother bought a Nintendo 64. I'll tell you how my console thing went. So right after the Super Nintendo, which I remember the day I got that. Then I got the PlayStation. My brother was working, so he got the Nintendo 64. So that was the first time we ever had two different consoles in the house. But my mom always had a problem with me having the video games in my room, but my brother was allowed to have the Nintendo 64 in his room. It was mainly because I wasn't allowed to have a TV in my room. Then,
I've had that argument with siblings before.
Yeah, but now things are different, obviously. So then, after the PlayStation, I don't remember what we did with that. Then came the Dreamcast. And the Dreamcast, to me, a very underrated system.
Oh, extremely.
And a really good one. Extremely underrated. So one day, I can't remember what happened. My mother was an alcoholic. So she's also like a very aggressive, violent alcoholic. So, and I know I'm breaking kayfabe, but Kirby has met her.
Right.
You met my mother, my biological mother.
I'm trying to remember. I'm sorry.
Tony Emerald's mother.
Oh. Yes.
That is my biological mother.
I remember.
Yeah, that was my mother. So, so she was and so one night I came home. I don't remember like what happened, but my room was trashed. Like she came in, destroyed everything, and destroyed my Dreamcast too.
Ugh.
So, I was really pissed off about it. But then, I'm only a kid. What am I gonna do? But then the next day she comes home and she's got a PlayStation 2. And the 3 games, and I actually own them too, is Onimusha, Max Payne, and GTA 3.
Huh.
So you bet that night my brother and I did not go to sleep at all. We're playing the PlayStation 2.
Oh.
Dude, we legit didn't stop playing until like it was supposed to be us going to school. And my mom was like, okay, you guys are going to school. I'm like, no, we're not. No, we're not. And then I think she got really mad at us, but she didn't ground us, so we still kept playing. So that was a really cool story. So then, so then I went from the PlayStation 2. I've had that since like the beginning part of my Navy career. And then like people were telling me about Xbox, and I didn't know anything about Xbox at the time. I didn't even know they were really a console because no one talked about it.
Right.
It was still Microsoft throwing their hat in.
Yeah, I know a handful of people who had the first Xbox, but it wasn't their only console. It was kind of like their secondary, Like,
yeah.
Like one of my close friends, and thank goodness that I was friends with him, because if I wasn't, I would never have experienced any consoles, like any of the good ones, because he had the 64 when it came out. He had a GameCube when it first came out. I don't remember if he had an Xbox or not, but like, I think he had an Xbox. I think he had an Xbox and a GameCube. Our other friend had a PlayStation and an Xbox. So like it was a very niche kind of group, and really similar to now, Xbox's big claim to fame was Halo.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah.
And Half-Life actually was another one that they were going with, but that was more on a PC. But
Yeah.
still, I mean, they took Half-Life.
Funny to think about it now that I'm thinking. I can remember
And
the
you're
first.
thinking.
Well, watch out. Yeah, there's smoke hidden inside these headphones. It just. One of the first games I remember ever hearing about for the Xbox or ever playing on Xbox, Soul Calibur 2. Because
I surprisingly don't own that one.
I
own 6. I don't know why. And then I own the first of the series, Soul Blade, which to my opinion is the best one out of it. I don't care what anybody says.
Honestly, I think my favorite's 2, just because I really like the gameplay, and I love that 2 was the first one to really branch into more than just PlayStation and Dreamcast. So 2 was for the GameCube, the PlayStation, and for the Xbox.
But isn't that also where they had the first selectable DLC characters like Link, Yoda, and Darth Vader?
Close. So you're mixing your continuities up. So
Spawn.
Yep. So 2, each console version had its own different character. So the GameCube had Link because Legend of Zelda. PlayStation had I'm gonna botch his name, Heihachi from Tekken.
Oh, Heihachi.
Heihachi, thank you. Heihachi from Tekken, and Xbox had Spawn. And that was the first time that I'd really heard any kind of buzz about Xbox, because I didn't know who Spawn was yet. Also, grew up in a Christian home. Spawn was not the go-to superhero for for me to learn about for obvious reasons.
Obviously.
Obvious reasons are obvious.
But when I heard, this character Spawn was going to be on Xbox, I was like, okay, I've got to play the Xbox version because I've never heard of this guy. And so that's when I first was like even remotely interested in the Xbox system. And then Halo 2 came out and everyone started talking about Halo 2. And I was, funny enough, I wasn't allowed to play Halo 2 when it came out because again, super Christian home, my mom was worried about video game violence.
Oh, my mom didn't care about video game violence. I was playing Resident Evil like crazy. Like when Resident Evil first, like when was it 19?
Okay, so
well, no, let me correct you. Let me correct myself on that. The only time my mom actually gave a shit, about me playing video games is that I remember in Resident Evil 2, the original, the police hallway.
Mm-hmm.
There's a police hallway that takes you. That's like right by the briefing room.
Right.
And there's a boarded up window, and the zombies can stick their hands out and grab you, but they can't hurt you. When that first happened, that scared me, and my mom was like right there. So then she was like, it's just a game. I was like, yeah. I was like, I know. And then I walked around the next bend, and then a second set of hands comes out and grabs me and screams. She's like, yeah, I was like, she's like, okay, you're not gonna be playing this anymore. I was like, Mom, stop, stop, I'm buying.
Okay, so
Don't scare.
I have a fun overprotective mom story for the podcast. I don't think I've ever told this story, at least on the podcast. And Mom, if you do end up watching this, I love you very much, but it's still funny to me.
Hi, Mama Bear.
So my mother, being the strong Christian woman that she is, and I don't fault her for that at all, but she was a little overprotective at times. So I saved up all my money. I worked, one of my first jobs that I had is I worked as a scorekeeper for the high school. So whenever a basketball tournament, a volleyball tournament, a football game that wasn't the varsity team was playing, I would be the guy hitting the buttons to keep the scoreboard going. And they paid me like $10 a game, maybe, but I worked every game I could, and I saved up.
So that adds up.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Because everyone else who worked, they worked like one or two, and they got like $30. And everyone's like, oh, look what I got. And then I got my check for $200. And everyone about shit themselves. They're like, how? I was like, because I worked tournaments every weekend for a month. That's how.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked hard. I saved up all my money, and I bought an Xbox 360. And I was so proud of myself because I did it by myself. So then it's Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm broke because I spent all my money getting the console. I had to borrow my first few games. Halo 3, by the way. Still love that game. So,
that's a good one.
So my mom, I give her a list. And she goes, what do you want for Christmas? I said, I want Halo 3. I wanted to own a copy of Halo 3. I want Halo 3. I want Modern Warfare 2. I want Gears of War 3. And I want Left 4 Dead 2. All fantastic games, by the way.
Your poor mother.
So
I have Halo 3 out of that.
Oh, you need Left 4 Dead 2. I have it on Steam. It still holds up. Probably one of my favorite zombie games. Period.
I definitely get that. I have the first Left 4 Dead, so
I
don't have Modern Warfare 2, and I'm okay with that. I mean, it was a good one. Don't get me wrong. But,
I honestly will say right here and now, Modern Warfare 2 is probably the best Call of Duty ever.
In your opinion, I'm knocking. It's a good choice. It's your opinion. I think Black Ops 1 was mine.
Say that one more time, but you're breaking up real hard.
Black Ops.
Okay. Black Ops 1 is a really good one. That's a close contender. I can give you that. So now granted, I'm 17, turning 18 soon, and about to go off into the world by myself. It is December 21st, and my mom comes up to me and she goes, "Are any of those games you asked for mature?" Yeah.
All of them are?
All of them. To which she responds, "I am not buying you any mature games." And my jaw about hit the ground. I was like, wait a minute. I am almost 18 years old. For those of you who don't know, I'm a veteran, so I was going into the military. I was like, I'm going into the military, but you won't let me play immature games. And even my dad, who he had a very middle of the road approach to everything. You know, a lot of things that bothered her didn't bother him, but being the supportive husband, he's like, listen to your mother. Even he stood up for this one. He's like, you've got to be kidding me. He's like, are you serious? And lo and behold, Christmas morning, I got Halo 3, Modern Warfare 2, and Left 4 Dead 2. And I haven't looked back since. That is where my online Xbox Live gaming started, and it was phenomenal.
There you go.
God, I love your mom.
Mom, if you're listening, I love you.
My first online gaming experience was Black Ops 1 in the PS3.
Black Ops 1 was a good one.
It was a good one.
I have two funny Black Ops stories. So the girl I was dating when Black Ops was out, because I was still living in the barracks, she was also an Xbox player. She somehow, I don't know how, but she did it. We were playing on separate teams. We were playing Capture the Flag. She convinced her entire team to kill just me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta stop you.
Okay.
You didn't look at this as a sign of things to come.
I probably should have. I should have. Yeah. I had a KDR that game of 2 to 15.
My God.
But my team won 3-0 on Capture the Flag because they weren't focused. Yeah, because they weren't focused on any flag runners. They were focused on me.
Now that's some good power wielding. I can't deny that. That's really good.
I was thoroughly impressed as I was screaming into my headset.
Wow.
So I actually got a funny Call of Duty story up.
Okay.
With my ex, like this is like Black Ops was Black Ops to start around. That's like when I really got into Call of Duty. Mm-hmm. First played it only for zombies, then I tried multiplayer, and then I was like really into that.
Nice.
So then I started dating my ex, and I was playing that, and then she would get pissed off at me because I'm playing Call of Duty this, Call of Duty that. So she'd get angry with me, and I'm like, whatever, I'm just playing I'm playing a video game, whatever. Then Christmas comes around, and then we give each other our gifts, and she gives me my gifts, and I realize that there's a PlayStation 3 game in there. I open it up, and I'm like, why is this MW3? And she goes, I know. I'm going to hate myself later for it. So she buys me MW3, and I moved into my own place at the time. So therefore I didn't have internet. I did have internet, but I had my PlayStation with me because, obviously I get bored of their house.
Right.
So I'll hook up the PlayStation, and then I just start playing it, and I start playing the Spec Ops. And then she's like, Will, I'm like, hold on. Will, hold on. So yeah, it was just like one of the crazy COD, like one of the craziest COD stories that I have.
So probably my second best COD story is Modern Warfare 3. It was me and my my roommate in the barracks at the time actually got to go to the midnight release at GameStop back when midnight releases were still, huge events.
Been to a few of them. I love them.
Yep. We actually got let out of, he had the night off. I was working nights at the time, and I actually got let out of work early to go to the midnight release. Like we normally worked, till midnight or 1 a.m. And then the higher ups called in at like 10:30, 11 o'clock. They're like, all right, everyone, wrap up. We're going home. And I was like, no way.
There you go.
I got out. I hauled it. I pedaled to the floor all the way to GameStop. We grabbed it. We were super excited. And because we were both brand new to Modern Warfare 3, he didn't know any of the maps. So his usual tactic of laying somewhere and sniping me didn't work. So I kicked his ass that night at Modern Warfare because he...
Oh, yeah, bitch!
Yeah, exactly. Out of nowhere. And all I could hear from the other room is him screaming at me because I kept killing him. I was like, maybe you shouldn't have traded in Black Ops so quick.
There you go.
That was a fun night.
The midnight release parties I've been to was Batman Arkham Origins.
That's not a bad one.
I like that. I liked it. It's definitely the worst out of the four. It still has the best fight scene in any of the Batman games, and that's Batman versus Deathstroke.
I would give it either best or second best.
No, I give it best. I don't.
The Mr. Freeze fight out of Arkham City?
No, that was a good one. Don't get me wrong, but I have to honestly say that Batman versus Deathstroke was the best fight. That's just my opinion. And by the way, Arkham City is hands down one of my favorite games ever.
Oh, easily.
Easily. So, I've been to that one. I've been to GTA 5. Resident Evil 2 Remake. And I actually, every time a new Resident Evil game comes out, I always thought. I'm not even kidding you. Like, for Resident Evil 2 Remake, I took off that Friday because I actually got the game Thursday.
Nice.
So I got the game Thursday. I played it. I played it for a little bit just to kind of get the feel of like the controls and stuff. And then I turned it off. Then I actually turned it off. I don't know why. Then like that Friday morning, I woke up, I ate breakfast, and I streamed the whole entire game. I streamed 3/4 of the scenarios because there's Claire A, Leon B, and then there's Leon A, Claire B.
Right.
I did Leon A, Claire B, and then Claire A. Streamed the whole thing.
Nice.
That Saturday, I finished Claire B, or Leon B, and then what was it? I finished that up, and I kept playing, and then I took that Monday off because that Sunday was the Royal Rumble. So therefore, I got lucky with that. So I got
which Rumble?
2000,
give or take, of course.
18 or 19, I can't remember.
Okay, so probably what?
19, because that came out last year, and then Resident Evil 3 Remake came out this year.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was 2019. The cool thing was that one is with Resident Evil 3. I call it 3-make. It's a nice play on word, okay.
Right.
But with 3-make, I was in quarantine when it came out, so therefore, I was able to play it regardless.
Right.
So I didn't even have to take off work. I was in quarantine.
I can sympathize with that,
At times I did. Don't get me wrong.
I honestly think my roommate's trying to take time off of work for Cyberpunk when it comes out. I'm interested. I haven't done as much research as some of my friends because some of my friends are like, they are diehard, like ready for this game, and I'm just like semi-interested. I think I'm more cautious than anything, just because I've been burned by EA so many times that I haven't started. I don't trust. Yeah, I don't trust any other developers now.
Capcom, I'm still on Capcom side. I don't care. I mean, come on, it says right there, Capcom.
You have the cartridge to prove it.
I have a bunch of Capcom games.
I believe you.
Yeah,
so you mentioned streaming. What can or anyone who listens to our show or anyone who wants to kind of see how you're doing, are they able to find you anywhere?
Twitch. I'm a Twitch affiliate, so yeah. I don't ask people to subscribe to me. I don't ask people to donate to me. It's just that's on free will. But if anybody wants to check me out, it's twitch.tv/Kama Kozzy GTS. Basically like how my name is right here, except it's GTS at the end. Gotcha.
Yeah, well, we always like to throw a little self-promotion, so awesome.
Yeah. we have learned well the ways of shameless self-promotion.
All good on that, no matter.
I'm actually trying to get my Twitch up and running, so maybe when I finally get around to it, because I'm lazy sometimes. I'm sorry. Maybe you and I can find something to co-op and we can do a stream together.
Resident Evil 5.
Maybe.
There we go.
Maybe. Okay.
Actually, I just had an epiphany. I completely forgot to tell you, Kama. I have met the voice of Chris Redfield.
He was also the voice of Batman.
No. Chris Redfield was voiced by the Time Force Red Power Ranger.
So the Chris Redfield that's in Resident Evil 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
You do know that's Batman and Batman Arkham Origins, right?
I don't think so.
I will bet you anything because it is.
All right, we're going to the Google.
All right, we're going to the wiki here.
Because I can tell you this: the guy who did the voice for Sadler in Resident Evil 4 is Captain Gordon, not Commissioner Gordon. The guy who does the voice for Anarchy in Arkham Origins is Leon S. Kennedy from Resident Evil 4. So I always call it Arkham. I call it Resident Evil Arkham Origins.
All right, so Chris Redfield.
Oh, okay. Roger Craig Smith voices Batman in the game, replacing Kevin Conroy from the previous Arkham games.
All right, hold on. I'm trying to find the voice actor that I met.
No, it's not it's probably the dude from Resident Evil 6. I don't think Chris Redfield is the same in Resident Evil 6. I could be wrong on that one.
You're probably correct, to be honest.
Yeah. But the dude who did the voice in Batman...
Jason Font, that's his name. Wow. I don't know why it took me so long to remember his name when I've met him twice. Also, Jason Font, if you're listening to my podcast, thank you. Secondly, I'm sorry I forgot your name.
I'll actually tell you a really cool Resident Evil story that I didn't know. And my brother.
Okay, he was Leon in 6. That's my bad. Leon in 6, and he was also Leon in Vendetta. Is Jason Font.
So, but then the guy who played it in Arkham Origins is the same guy who does Chris Redfield in 5. Okay, but anyways, so my brother is also a big Resident Evil fan. He's not as big as me, but he lives in Japan, so he always calls it Biohazard, and obviously I know what he's talking about.
Right.
By the way, fun little fact: you know how Resident Evil 7 it's called Biohazard here?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Resident Evil Biohazard. In Japan, they call it Biohazard 7 Resident Evil. Yeah, crazy like little crazy little trivia thing right there. So me and him were talking, and he was asking me about the 3 make, and I told him I told him my opinion. Then he just randomly sends me a message. He's like, "You do know that my friend was in Resident Evil 3 remake?" I said,
Wait, what?
He said, "Yeah, his friend was in it." I was like, "Who was he?" He goes, "Oh, he was the guy that Jill meets in the warehouse, and he locks himself into the container." I'm like, "You talking about Dario?" He goes, "Yeah, Dario." I was like, "No, no, no." Then he sends me the dude's Facebook, and then he sends me a side-by-side shot of the dude's Facebook and him as Dario. I was like, "Holy!"
Wow.
I was like, "Holy shnikey, he's right." I was like, "That is awesome."
That is pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome. I can't deny that. So that's a nice little Resident Evil trivia thing that I found out like I think a week ago. So my brother knows somebody that was been in Resident Evil.
That is
Nice.
fantastic.
It's pretty sweet. Can't deny that.
Nope, we can't. So, all right, boys. It's honestly been such a blast hearing these stories and getting a couple chuckles. But I think now it's going to be the time that we kind of bring it on home.
All right.
Yes, time to take it home, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
I gotta eat too. I think I got barbecue waiting for me, and plus I gotta deal with all these distractions and all these notifications on my phone.
No,
like-
bro.
Right.
You know.
So
No, of course. And believe it or not, there is actually, according to what my calendar is saying, there is a pay-per-view tonight. So
There is. It's going on right now, and that's actually one of the messages I got. I was like, "You want your payback?" Like,
all right, well, definitely we'll get everybody on their way. Kama, is there anything you want to add to, anything you want to add, anything you want to say to
to
anyone
the
watching?
Curbside fans.
All five of us.
I like turtles.
Ow.
No. The only thing I do want to say though is I want to say thank you to both of you, which are like you guys are like right here on my screen. So like, actually,
You're
like,
over here on
elbow.
mine.
Yeah. Well, see, like now we can actually just do the elbow thing right there. All right. So thank you, Kirby, for having me on. Thank you, Brittni, for having me on. I appreciate it. And hey, if you ever need a guy to talk about like horror movies or video games, you obviously know Kirby. You have my number, so you can call me anytime. And Brittni, I follow you on Twitter. So
Yep, I'll come find you in October. And I just downloaded Shudder, so we're gonna have a lot to talk about.
Oh, and speaking of October, Kirby, you're gonna. This is the last thing I'm gonna say.
Okay.
You're gonna like this idea because I think that Ace Jones, my tag team partner, is going to be October show at UWC.
Okay.
So guess what we're dressing as? You wouldn't expect it from me, but you probably from him.
I gotta hear this.
Well, if it's a tag team costume, I can't think of it. If it was a singles costume, I would have just said Thriller.
Wait, I'm picturing like a Dragon Ball Z thing. Like I'm picturing like a Dragon Ball Z.
Who are you going as? That's what I want to know.
Goku and Vegeta.
Goku and Vegeta. Very nice.
Nice. That's
Keeping
awesome.
that anime spirit alive.
Now, see, I'm not an anime person, but he is, so therefore I was just.
Well, I went last year as Ichigo from Bleach. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that somebody is going as an anime character this year because I don't know if I'll be able to attend.
We don't know if Bale is going to go as any Dragon Ball Z character, so I got to bring it up to him, make sure that we're not
Gimmick infringement.
Damn.
So,
Yeah.
but
Anyway, like I said, thank you for having me on. I deeply appreciate it.
yes,
so
thank
much for
you for
being
joining
on.
us, Kama.
I'm right here.
Thank you, Kama. Appreciate you. We appreciate you, dear.
Ladies
No
and gentlemen,
problem.
thank you for watching the Curbside Podcast. Kama, thank you for coming on. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Kirbside Podcast. Follow me at TLBJ Kirby. Follow Kama Kozzy on Twitter. Kama, your
Real Kama Kozzy. Or
real
at
Kama Kozzy. And my Scream Queen friend down here. Follow her on Twitter.
Only if you decide.
But thank you for joining us. Hit the little subscribe button on your YouTube. Hit the little bell so you can get notifications for when we post.
And
Watch
comment below.
our new show, which we have just started posting, and episode 3 is coming soon of Dice Hard with a Vengeance. Thank you guys so much for watching the Curbside Podcast, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.